What's up, y'all? Welcome to my podcast. If you're hearing this right now, you're experiencing a miracle firsthand in the form of audio. Something truly special is taking place to the extent that it's hard to find the words to explain the significance, how far I've come, and what I'm planning to do with this show. So many obstacles had to be overcome to make this all possible, and a great deal of networking, persistence, hard work, and sacrifices went into finding a way to get this created and recorded. At which point, even more challenges presented themselves before it was finally smuggled to the outside world in order for you to hear it. A lot of changes and personal growth had to take place within me to get to the point where I was able to do something so personal. It requires me to be vulnerable and open myself up, all of which I'm doing in order to help others and spread a positive message. I can guarantee you most people who knew me from the past are going to be skeptical, confused, or straight up refuse to believe this is me, made up of all my own content, and that I'm actually the one saying all these things if I'm not being coerced, held at gunpoint, being paid, or working an angle, all of which I am not. But I say all that just to let you know how far I came and as evidence of how much my beliefs, behaviors, and what drives me has shifted. And once said, I'm not as good as I'm going to get, but I'm better than I used to be. Confident that once you come to know all the adversity I encountered and overcame to get here, make all of this possible, you'll see it as something special too. Hopefully you continue to tune in and listen. This first episode, I decided to read you something I wrote as an introduction to my show because I had so much I wanted to make sure it didn't go unsaid. So bear with me if it sounds rehearsed or monotonous. I promise it won't be this way all of my shows. Before I can go any further, allow me to introduce myself. My God given name is Matthew or Matt Bruns, but most people know me by the nickname B. For the longest time, people referred to me as GDB because I was a member of the Gangster Disciples, and the B was in reference to the first letter of my last name. I haven't been an active member in over 3 years now. And I'm trying my best to leave that persona behind me. These days, and as far as my show is concerned, y'all will come to know me as Be Blessed. That better suits my personality nowadays. If someone asks me how I'm doing, I always say blessed. I'm constantly telling guys, make sure you're keeping an eye out for them blessings because they come in different forms, or to make sure that they're not busy stressing so much that they miss out on their blessing. At the end of the day, I want everyone to be blessed and live their best life. It's just how I'm wired. Before I go any further, and I know this will seem outdated, but I want to give my condolences to the loved ones of George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, and all the rest of the people who were lost to deadly encounters with the police. Also, to anyone who lost someone or was affected by COVID 19 or hurt or killed during the riots at the Capitol on January 6th, or any of the countless mass shootings, senseless acts of violence fueled by hate that I missed in the past 5 years. My thoughts and prayers are with you as you struggle and strive for change. I also want to wholeheartedly and sincerely apologize to all of the victims I left in my wake in the midst of my addiction, all my loved ones I put through so much over the years. I know words fall short, but I am truly sorry. To both of my sons, Braden Matthew and Anthony Christian Brun, Daddy loves you so much, and everything I do is for you. The name of my show is Never Too Late. Allow me to give you a little bit more deeper understanding of myself, the title, and the overall objective. Like I just said before, you can call me Be Blessed. I'm 36 years old from Northwest Ohio, and if I had to use one word to describe myself, it would be a dreamer. I'm currently incarcerated in a maximum security prison in Toledo, Ohio, where I spend 22 and a half hours a day in this cell alone, and I've been doing that each and every day for the past 4 years. Locked up for 5 years now on a 6-year sentence for armed robbery. I have 1 year until I'm released. During that year, I'm doing everything I can to prepare for my freedom and lay the foundation for my future. Never Too Late is a vision that's structured around the idea of showing more love and less hate and being the change that you want to see in the world. And although I have a long way to go, I'm a living, breathing example that anything is possible, that change is possible. Up until a few years ago, I was fully committed and active gang member who wouldn't hesitate to use violence to further my gang's agenda. I was suffering from untreated mental illness, active in my addiction, and committed to the idea of living the rest of my life as a career criminal. I was brainwashed into believing violence was the only path to getting respect and the poster child for unfulfilled potential. Since then, I made some really meaningful and deep rooted changes to my character and a great deal of progress in my life. I'm not delusional. I know the road will be long and the greatest test lies ahead of me once I'm released, but I'm building strength and good habits by doing the right things and repetition on a daily basis in the most negative of environments. Firmly believe that everything's happened to me led me here for this exact purpose. All of the pain, loss, trauma, and hardships were meant to shape me into someone who can inspire other people and that people can relate to. Most people look at me in my life, they see someone whose circumstances are worse than theirs. So they think, hey, if he can succeed, surely I can too. I want to tell the younger generation the importance of making good decisions the first time around when it comes to drugs and getting an education. Giving a first-hand look at what it looks like for ex-offenders to try to reintegrate back into society, the battle they face when it comes to housing, employment, recovery, etc., and share my experience from this point forward. I want to share my experiences and challenge I faced while on the inside as I transition back into society. I go home, I was spent 13 years of my life in jails or prison. For the past 4 years, I've been in maximum security in a cell alone and wonder if that's going to stop me from socializing like a normal human being again. Also be using my platform to share some of my poetry, music, and tidbits of my memoir I'm working on, also entitled Never Too Late. I've always been a writer and have recorded and released lots of music. If you want to check it out, I'm at www.reverbnation.com/life on the inside. Although much of that content of my writing and music have changed a long way with me. After being forced into isolation for so long, writing has truly been my saving grace. By sharing this, I can help one person who may felt like giving up. It was well worth it. Besides being in prison, I've struggled with addiction, mental illness, been homeless, in psych wards for suicidal thoughts and attempts, and lost the closest of my friends to gang violence, suicide, drug overdoses, as well as a lot of people I cared about to life sentences. Never see them again. And anyone I used to know who's not dead or locked up, our lives have moved in opposite directions. I have everything in the world standing in my way. But this podcast is proof of how far I've come and will document my journey as I not only sort through all these things standing in my way, but as I spread love to everyone I encounter as I do it. No matter what you've done, no matter what you've been through, no matter what you're up against, when it comes to wondering whether you can get through it or questioning whether or not you can change, turn your life around, take it from me. It's never too late. I'm going to share my first poem with you as I wrap this show up. It's called I Pray. It's about everything going on in the world today. I really hope you enjoy it. The end of the poem will be the end of the show till next time, and it'll give you a chance to digest it, hopefully make it work on showing more love in your day-to-day life. The world's got a surplus of hate right now. I just want to let both my boys know that Daddy loves them. Until next time, love a stranger, love your neighbor, and be the change you want to see in the world. I'm your host, Be Blessed. So you know, I want everyone out there to be blessed. From my jail cell, I bid you farewell. This is my poem I wrote. I called it I Pray. Pray that prisons quit thriving and the economy grows, that children quit dying and my family grows old. I pray that kids play with Legos and put down their guns and everyone manages to find their one true love. I pray for anyone who's hungry or chasing your dreams. Crips and Bloods can come together because blue and red can make green. With mass incarceration, our chances were slim to make it through our lives without seeing the pen. See, if I could press a wine, George Floyd would live. Officer that killed him would have called in sick. I guess it is what it is. Datelines full of hate crimes. Go to Chuck E. Cheese, kids are throwing up gang signs. I pray for anyone who's been affected by COVID-19. There's no such thing as poverty, and healthcare is free. I pray that one day soon we can find a cure for cancer. And if we listen hard enough, God will give us the answers. If anyone addicted, suicidal, or conflicted, stop discriminating against those that are different. If I had just one wish and I was able to use it, I would put an end to all these mass shootings. As I lay me down to sleep, I pray the Lord my soul to keep. All else, I pray that it means we can learn to live in peace. The end.